Council. This time, I will call on Councilmember Smith, who will lead us in the invocation, followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for all that you have done and will continue to do for us. More specifically, I thank you for allowing us the opportunity to serve in these capacities. God, I pray that you grant us the wisdom that we need in order to effectively lead the community that we serve. Lord, I ask that you reveal people and things that are not of you and give us the discernment to see and move accordingly. Grant us understanding and strength to continue to push forward. And all these things I ask in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Smith. Will the clerk please call the roll for the establishment of a quorum?
Councilmember Jenkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts,
Here.
Councilmember Smith,
Present.
Councilmember Harris,
Present.
Mayor Draper.
Here, a quorum is established. Is there a motion to waive the reading of and approve the minutes of the March 15th regular meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Draper.
Yes, those minutes are approved. Mr. Folks, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. With that, then, I will move that we adopt the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Draper.
Yes, the agenda is adopted. We have no public hearings tonight. Folks, do we have any unfinished business?
No, we do not, sir.
Thank you, sir. With that, then, I will move that we adopt the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Draper.
Yes, the consent agenda is adopted. Our only resolution tonight is one that was discussed in the work session. It is one authorizing the submission of grant application to the EDAA, the Public Works and Economic Adjustment Assistance Program for trail development, museums, and gardens. I'll move for passage and adoption. Is there a second? Council discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Draper.
Yes, that resolution is adopted. Our only motion tonight is one to reject the bids for new restrooms at the Museum of Natural History due to cost overruns and budgetary constraints. I think this largely had to do with supply line issues, pretty self-explanatory. I will move for passage and adoption. Is there a second?
Second.
Council discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Draper.
Yes, that motion is adopted. Mr. Folks, are there any additional or other matters that may come before the council?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. With that, then, we'll move on to public comments. We have 3 tonight. Mr. Jackson, we'll begin with you. If you would, come forward to the microphone. If you would, sir, please state your name and address for our record.
Richard Jackson, property at 2317 Noble Street. It's a privilege to be able to get up here and speak to y'all again this evening. It's been such a long time. What I'd like to speak about is a few weeks ago, this is the first thing on my agenda. A few weeks ago, I stopped by the City Hall, city building, to get a hard copy application to be able to speak here tonight. I had taken my wife to the doctor and decided I would stop by after the doctor's visit. And precisely at 4 o'clock, I went to the municipal building, and the door was locked. I think, for employees to get off at a decent time, that's well and good. But the number one objective of any business is the customer. And if we want our employees to be happy, we want our citizens to be more happy than that. I think 4 o'clock, if the office is closed at 4 o'clock in a municipal building, that's too early. And for employees to get off, some people might think it's a decent time, is well and good. But our main objective needs to be the citizens of the city. If someone is gainfully employed in this city or in this county, most of the time they don't get off from work till 4:30. And there's ways to cover the times that we need to have people. We can do staggered shifts. Seniority has privilege. The best shift goes to the person with the most seniority. And then it goes down. But we should always have some availability at City Hall until at least 6 o'clock. So that we can take care of our citizens. Even when it comes down to being here at the State Council meeting, for us to have to apply to stand up here and say something, that's a travesty. Now, we want to just have somebody to guarantee that they will have a spot to speak, well and good. If you fill out an application, then you are guaranteed to speak. But if anybody comes in that door and they have something that's on their mind that they need to share with you, then if there's a lot of amount of time that's available, then if someone is not on the list to speak and there's time, then that person needs to be able to speak. I see that the clock is running down and 3 minutes is not enough. So we may need to change it to 4.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Okay, next we have Mr. Glenn Ray. Sir, if you would, for our records, state your name and address. Thank you, sir.
Glenn Ray, 3514 Dale High Road, Cullen Spring. And, you know, today I'm here with my heart is deep because of the crisis that's going on in the city. We have a serious problem with this fentanyl or whatever, the drugs and things that taking advantage of people. Taking advantage of people that got a habit. And so I just want to say here tonight, in behalf of the NAACP, we want to work closely with the law enforcement, whatever it takes. If anybody in the community that has these drugs, they need to know that everybody's watching and they're going to be told. If anybody knows, they need to tell it. We don't need to let no one kill our citizens. Anyone that walks the street got a habit, that's a habit, but there should be a death sentence. And so we need to put out more in the community on what's going on. Let the people know that the councilman in the city is behind and we're going to stop it. And we're not going to continue to let it go. And we need to do something about it, and we need to do it like yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, we have Mr. Kari Mackey. Is he in the audience tonight? Okay, appear to be none. Okay, let's move on then to council comments. Mr. Jenkins, let's start with you.
Thank you, Mayor. I apologize, but I'm going to say that extra 30 seconds that Councilwoman Smith got to put that prayer together. That was beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that with us today. You don't ever have you ever get tired of politics, you got a job in the pulpit, I'm pretty sure.
Thank you. It is in the water.
No other comments. Thank you, Mayor.
First of all, good evening. Again, thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate seeing the faces. I too share the same sentiments as Mr. Ray. It breaks my heart to see the body count building up, and you know, we've talked about it. One of the problems is nobody wants to tell. Everybody wants to get this free money at the cost of it or whatever, but nobody wants to tell. The drugs that are on our streets right now are very lethal. Tolerance is not these people who've been on drugs for years. Their tolerance level is new to them. So this is killing more people than we think. I think a lot of them got passed and not have been missed because some people just go away and die in their sleep. And unless you do an autopsy or something on them, we don't know. But I guarantee you, the city of Anniston is working on a solution. Sometimes you can't always go public on what you're doing, because when you go public, you have people that will go out try to circumvent the system or of what we're trying to do. But please be mindful, we're aware. It's just, again, it's second council meeting in a row, we have to talk about drugs. But we're going to continue to talk about it until we can figure out a way to do something about it. And let me just say this. This is not the time to blame law enforcement. This is not the time to blame officials and accuse them of not doing things. A lot of these things are out of our control. We are trying to get a handle on it. But at the same time, I said this when I ran, if you tell me you want to clean up the streets, and Bookie is out here selling drugs, get your bill money ready, we're going to take Bookie to jail. And we're going to try to put Bookie away. Be it Bookie, be it Nadine, be it Denzel, Draper, or even Ciara. We catch it, we're going to do it. Enough for today. We have a lot of positive things going. Everybody, please come out this Saturday at Oak Street Festival. We're going to have a good time. It's time to highlight our city. And as you see people walking around, y'all have ideas, bring them to us. Y'all know people that have ideas and say things that say what we could do. Let us know. And we'll try. Or we'll try to see what we can do. God bless y'all. I love y'all.
Yeah, I definitely do share the same sentiments as Glenn Ray and Councilmember Roberts. We actually had a young lady who passed away last night due to an overdose, and she left children behind. And so it does hit home when you have, young people, mothers and fathers, leaving in this way, and children having to bear that burden for so long. And I know how that can feel at times, and so I am praying that we find some solutions, whatever the council can do to assist law enforcement, whatever partnerships we can create to get these drugs, out of our environments, out of our neighborhoods that are killing the people that we love the most. And really just praying for those who are battling this disease, because it truly is a disease and it's so hard to overcome. And praying for our kids. On another note, praying for our kids who had to do ACAP testing today in Anniston City schools. I'm not sure if they did it at our private schools and the Calhoun County schools as well, but just praying for our students, praying for good test scores. I know there are a lot of anxieties that can come with things like that, and I appreciate you all for coming out here, and those that are watching online as well, and have a good evening.
I want to reiterate all that's been said about drugs and make one comment that it is not limited to one socioeconomic group. It crosses all groups. And we've got to do something about it. And it may be out of our hands, but something has got to happen. I don't know what it would be, but if anyone has any solutions, let us know. The other thing I want us to think about the people in the Ukraine. I'm getting right over and want to watch the news every night because it is just so terrible. And let's uplift those people in our thoughts and prayers as well. We take our freedom for granted. We pledge to the flag. We don't really realize what it really means to live in a country that's free. It's not totally free. It's not perfect. But my goodness gracious, I would take it being here any day over what those poor people are having to endure. Anyway, please support the 17 criteria on Saturday. It's going to be a great, great event. And thanks to all of you for coming out tonight. I appreciate it.
I too appreciate the comments on the scourge of drugs on our street. We really do have to do something. I appreciate Chief Bowles sharing with us nice information. Know this though, we have among the best and best trained police departments and fire departments in this state. People come here to train with them. And so I'm confident in their ability, working with city staff and us, to devise strategies, and I know that they're doing that now, and I appreciate that. But it's clearly something that we have to continue to work on and focus on. And I appreciate the attention on that. I want to echo too, and remind everybody though, about this weekend. Y'all, this is a big deal for us, this Double Street Festival, the Sunny King Criterium. Please come downtown. You know, so much good things are going on now. We want the world to know about all the good things that are going on in Anniston, and a big part of that is having a big crowd down there on Saturday. So I encourage everyone to come, and we look forward to seeing everyone. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight and those watching online. With that, I will move that we stand in adjournment. Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins,
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Draper.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank y'all.